you want the funk?
Yow. Gotta have that funk. Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But you probably should. And you probably are. And that's why we like you. Another round, another week, another whiskey. And same co-host as last time. And that's right. He's the official new co-host. He's Bryan Rapp. But before we get to Bryan Rapp, before we get to anything whiskey related or life related, let's talk about some business. We got a Patreon, and that Patreon is dope. And I think the people that are hanging in there on Patreon are realizing that it's still dope. As of yesterday, the courier went out from my place to say, hey, we got samples. And courier left and said, thank you, sir. Thank you, Cole. And I'm heading to certain great Patreon people to bring them drink along samples. So that is a great way to support us, is on patreon.com. If you're at the $10 tier or more, you can participate in these drink alongs. And, well, you could always participate in drink alongs. But being able to be couriered samples from Cole is a whole nother beauty that comes at the $10 tier or more. So that's the business for this week. Let's see. Yeah,
I believe
good week.
We have a new beautiful Patreon supporter too.
We do. Why don't you introduce this beautiful man?
So about a week ago, we got a notification that we got a new Patreon supporter going by the name of Brian Duncan. Yeah. Brian Duncan subscribed to the $10 tier and paid for an annual subscription. So he is locked in, ready to go for the next 12 drink alongs.
Yeah, and he's got the chill filtered stemless skin Karen coming his way.
Heyo. Yeah. Fantastic.
So, as well as other goodies. So
yeah. So tell me about your week. What you been up to?
Oh man. It's been weird. Okay, so I'm at my new job. I'm working from home. It's been good. But it's been weirdly like chill, like too chill. And I don't like it. Yeah, chill filtered. Yeah. But not drinking at work. No. Not that. Yeah, I think no. Actually, my first company was bad, or was like okay, like about like it were okay. You don't never should drink at work, but they were like, if it's off hours, like you can drink or whatever. My second company is like, all bets are off. You can drink whenever you want. You can drink at your lunch. You can they didn't say that, but they didn't say not to. Yeah, and so people would like. I went out to lunch with coworkers, and they would be like, hey, I'll grab a beer while I'm out.
Yeah.
And then my company now is like zero tolerance, which, I don't mind. It's not like I'm actually going to drink at work. My first company would be like after, like, especially during COVID, it was like after work events where we do like virtual not bingo. What do you call it? Like virtual trivia and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so we'd all like grab a beer or something like that while we were at the after work, not related to work thing. Right, but then my last company, yeah, like I said, but then this company's like, I wouldn't even like mess with it based on what I've read in the employee handbook and stuff, which that's not a struggle for me to drink at work. So
right. Yeah, my work is defense sector, so absolute zero tolerance. nobody's getting a beer at lunch.
What about like, do you guys ever do like happy hours or anything like that?
Yeah, after work. Okay. And so it's totally unrelated. It's just a collection of random people going to a bar after work. Totally.
Yeah.
But
and know each other from something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, sure. We before my company got bought out, and it was a smaller, much smaller business. They used to actually like bring in kegs into the courtyard in the middle of the building, and like once a month or something have a party where they'd even supply beer and food and everything too. But I wasn't around early enough for that. I joined when we were part of the larger
gotcha.
Mega company now. So
yeah, that mega company has bought out a lot of smaller companies.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who worked out of a Denver company, and I won't mention the name, but it was like, at least he worked in Denver. I think it probably had multiple locations, but it got bought out by the bigger company. And now he works for the bigger company.
Yeah.
He's actually a good friend of Brandon's. They went to school together.
That's cool.
At I think he got bought out. No, it didn't get bought out. I think it's a very separate company now that I think about it. I think my friend who worked there started working for the company you work for.
Yeah, I got you.
So now that I think about it. So
yeah.
How was your week?
Yeah, it was good. Not a lot going on. And then just today was just a whirlwind of just a million things going on.
Including dental
So
visit.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, my teeth are looking extra white today if you're watching on YouTube. I ended up catching this deal on so every Christmas Costco does this deal where it's like if you buy 3 scotches, you get $20 off each. You have to buy 3, and then you end up with a total of $60 discount. And I don't know, it's got to be a price mistake. I don't know what
Did you actually pull the trigger? Did it work?
So I did.
Okay, so explain it. I cut you off,
yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, no. There were 4 scotches. See if I remember. Lagavulin 16, Oban 14.
Ooh, classic.
Talisker 10, and Johnny Walker Gold.
Gotcha.
And for some reason, if you did a same day delivery through Instacart, it was $60 off each bottle, every bottle. Yeah. So I threw one of each. Yeah, I threw one of each in my shopping cart. I know. I threw one of each in my shopping cart, and it was like, subtotal 300 whatever minus.
I should have asked you to buy some for me too.
I know, right? And so the total price for one of each was like $100 or $90.
Was it only Scotch?
It was only Scotch, and it was literally only the 4 that I just mentioned.
Okay, still.
So I placed an order for one of each, and then it was like, all right, your shopper's headed to the store. You can add more if you want or whatever. So I text my buddy Curtis, and I'm like, hey, do you want any of these? And he's like, what? So I changed my quantity to 2 of each, and it takes it. It's like
doubled it.
Yep. I doubled it. And then the shopper gets there. Turns out they're out of the 2 that I wanted the most. They were out of the Lagavulin 16, and they were out of the Oban 14.
Which were the 2 big ones.
Ended up with 2 Talisker 10s and 2 Johnny Golds for
$60 off per.
Yep. So the Talisker 10 was literally $15 each. And the Johnny Gold was, I don't know, 20 or 25 or whatever it is.
And then no.
I know.
There's no way
now today Curtis placed an order for the other 2 just to see if it would work, and it did. So
did you pull the trigger?
Well, I didn't. Additionally, no. But I don't know. Yeah, Curtis hasn't
but you would have had to buy how many?
No, you don't have to buy
just one per.
Yeah. You could have just bought one Lag 16 for $25 and been done with it.
That's great.
But anyway, one of those from Curtis might be for me. He hasn't said explicitly yet, so
that's sweet, dude. I love that kind of stuff. Like, it's like when I found that, I mean, it's not even close, to be honest, but it's like when I found that Corvrecken for half off. Like, just can't say no to that. Just can't.
I've never had that before. Yeah.
Oh, you'd love it. Have you ever had Ugadal?
No. It sounds like you're just making up names to me. Yes, Ardbeg. I know that one.
But just the 10, maybe?
Ardbeg. I've had the blanking. No idea.
No, it's all good. Dude,
I've had maybe 1 or 2 Ardbeg offerings, and one of them was somewhat special.
Okay. Maybe a Hypernova.
And probably one of them was a standard release. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna have to send you some of even the heavy vapors was good.
That's the podcast episode on it sounded awesome. Yeah. And I do remember now one of the Ardbegs was like Anoa, A-N-O-A.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I have tried that one.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. That is good to know because the courier is stopping by my house soon.
Very good. Very good.
So
also had the in-laws up yesterday and went to the annual Total Wine champagne tasting class.
Oh, that's fun.
It's kind of been an annual tradition for us. We either we'll go down to Tucson and we'll go to the class at their Total Wine, or they'll come up to ours. And so they came up here this time, and we sampled a bunch of champagnes, and one of them was even like $130 bottle that they put in the class for us to be able to try. It was whatever. There was one in there that we already knew that we liked a lot, and of course it was our favorite out of the bunch anyway.
Nice. That sounds like a fun class. Better than a wine for me.
Yeah,
I can appreciate a good champagne.
I tried a couple of the wine classes, and I wasn't a huge fan. We did the Bordeaux class, and I want a richer flavor than those Bordeaux's had. We did the Napa Valley class, and I did kind of enjoy the Napa class. I thought that was pretty good.
Nice.
But I need to try a French glass. I don't think not French. I don't know. Whatever. I need to try
Bordeaux
more.
is definitely my favorite type of wine.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But maybe they did terrible options.
I don't know. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I only like whiskey.
Yeah, maybe you thought that Bordeaux wasn't French. I'm kidding. No, maybe that's it. Maybe you're just into whiskey. Yeah. So back in my day when I used to write the blog, on basically how if I were to retitle the blog today, it was how I got a bottle of Eagle Rare 17 at retail.
Right.
And a few other amazing, like a ton of other amazing bottles at retail. So when me and my friend Trevor, we were, like really working this one store and in a good way, like I don't even think we were like pulling this con job on this store. Like we really appreciated talking to them. We really built up this great relationship with the store and bought a ton of stuff. But at one point in the process, we're always throwing down like every other week or every week we went and he would buy one week, I'd buy the other week. So it kind of seemed like we were always spending a lot of money together.
Yep.
And one time it was towards his wedding, Trevor's wedding, and he's like, I just need a bottle of Dom Perignon. And so they got him it was like a $200 bottle, and it's probably more now. It's probably like $350, $400 or something like that. But
that's cool.
What that runs for. But yeah, he got one of those, and that was our spend for the week. And that was, in a way showing off, hey, we're willing to, of course, throw down. So
yeah.
That was it. What do we got? What do we got? Total Wine says Dom Perignon is I can't find it easily. So there it is. Okay, wait. There's so much on this. It doesn't even give me a price. $250. So I was way off.
Okay.
So.
Did you say way off?
What do you?
No, you said 200.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I said it was like 3 or 4 or something like that. There should be these days. What are you entry buzzing on?
Yes. So, given that today's episode is Del Bac Sentinel Rye, which is an MGP rye,
nice,
aged in what their mesquite
Dorado casks that were freshly finished or freshly poured.
I do not have any more of my Sentinel Batch 1, but so I just decided to go the MGP rye route. I grabbed a Nulu rye. Nice. I didn't want to go straight rye. I wanted it to have a little something going on. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I wish I had gone straight rye. But anyway, I've got a toasted French oak stave Nulu. That's pretty nice. Good. It's super solid.
Does it have an age statement on it?
Yeah, actually it does.
Nice.
6.5 year.
Nice.
Oh, and I could just hold it up for the camera if you're watching on YouTube. I'm covering up my pretty white teeth with the bottle.
How many Nulus you got these days?
I think about 4 or 5 or 6. Nice. There's I think I've got 2 straight ryes and a couple other finished ones. One of those finished ones is that ridiculous one that was the finishing time. Well, one's a bourbon that's finished for 2.5 years in sherry apple brandy or something like that. So 2.5 year finish. And then the other one is like double oaked and then PX sherry. And that's a rye. It's like all you can taste is the finish, but it is the juiciest,
is it good?
Most finished rye I've ever had. Nice. It's good if you like finished ryes. Yeah. It's maybe the heaviest.
Sherry overdoes it to me.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes. But then again, you look at like some of these Scotch finish or like some Scotches are like mostly aged in sherry casks and they're amazing. Like Abelor Abuna or Glendronach, 12, 18 or 21. They're always amazing.
Yeah.
This is good.
That's pretty much it for me though.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, what are you entry buzzing on?
I got my Yeti mug. That'd be sweet if we ever got sponsored by them, but I don't expect it. I am drinking batch 1 of Sentinel Rye as we are drinking batch 2 today. So I thought it might be a good comparison. Notes.
Yeah, give us quick
remembering and thinking about it a little bit. I like the rye more than I like the smokiness. There's so little smokiness on batch 1 that it's like it's more. I mean, it's like a rye. It's a funky rye. I'll tell you that. It's a funky rye, but it's sweet. It's candy like already at like 2 some years, and I dig it. That's why I like it the most, though, is because of the rye notes as opposed to the funky notes. And I want to kind of hope that batch 2's got a little bit of funk that works well, because like they kill it in the single malt department, and they kill it with like the smokiness, especially in like the Dorado and some of their special editions. But I know they're going for something that's a little different than your average rye. And I feel like this is 80 to 90% rye, 10% funk. And I want to get like 40% funk, 60% rye this one next time. So
yeah. And to our knowledge, batch 2 is done exactly what they did with batch 1. It's just now this is just a new release.
I have a feeling, like, knowing what I know about Mark Viertaler is, I have a feeling he wanted more smoke. I think. No, he wanted that for Ode to Isla.
Ode to Isla, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. But I have a feeling he wants a little more influence from the Sonoran Desert as opposed to MGP.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts there. But yeah, otherwise, week's been good. Tomorrow's gonna be super busy. We're recording on a Friday, and tomorrow is like we have like one thing after the next tomorrow, and it's like kids rushing around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I wish sometimes I could just have more time in the day.
Yeah. All my craziness was today. I think I'm finally going to get to relax tomorrow, but it was literally like, oh yeah. So I got my Ode to Isla from Del Bac today, but I had to go to the dentist appointment, and I was like, please deliver it by when I need to leave for the dentist. And sure enough, like 5 minutes before I had to leave for the dentist, they come pulling up, and I'm like, yes.
Was your wife not home?
Well, we were both going to the dentist at the same time.
Oh, that's rough.
So no one was going to be home. Yeah. And there were just several other things happened today where it was like, please, I need the stars align, and I need to get out of this restaurant by this time. And then boom, it happened.
Oh, that's great.
Somehow, all like right down to the wire, but it all worked out. Just flying around town and then flying right here into this chair, and then we started recording.
Oh wow. Yeah. I felt like starting the episode with a joke, but then I totally forgot about it. But I was about to say in the beginning of the episode, so I was talking to your wife, and so anyway, his wife is a fantastic artist, and I will rep her because I know Bryan wouldn't. At least on the podcast, like officially. So she's got a great Etsy page similar to moi, but hers is what is it? Samrap
Illustrations. Samrap Illustrations.
Yeah. And she is quite the talented illustrator. Like you could tell she very much loves fantasy books like Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. Is that true? Like, am I just imagining that she's really into that? Okay, yeah.
I am huge into Lord of the Rings.
Really?
And never in a million years would I have thought I was going to find somebody who was bigger into Lord of the Rings than I am. And she is. I will admit I'm big into knowing like lore and history stuff. I want to deep dive, but she like eats, breathes, and sleeps Lord of the Rings.
That's
like
great.
She'll watch it anytime. She'll eat up content about it. She creates her own content about it.
That's great.
Yeah, she's on another level, and it's amazing.
So yeah, check it out. Samrap Illustrations on Etsy, and that's rap with 2 P's, as most of you should know by now.
RAPP. And it's more than just fantasy illustrations too. She does. She will do custom portraits,
which I hit her up for today.
Oh yeah.
So. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah, right. So Christmas is coming.
Yeah, the goose is getting fat. No, I won't get into it now.
Oh yeah. Anyway, she'll the kind of deal where you'll send in pictures, and she'll tailor the pictures, and she'll turn you and your family or your pets or whatever into her art style.
She does great. She'll put you in front of. Too. Yeah.
She'll put you in front of fun backgrounds if you want, and
that's cool.
All kinds of stuff like that.
We what you said there about she was a bigger Lord of the Rings person than you were. That reminds me of Robbie. Robbie told me the story of when he met Chelsea, and he was like, I've never met a woman who had a bigger CD collection than I did. and then I was like, CD's nuts. Hey. Anyway,
Got him.
but got him, Robbie. So while you're listening, Robbie. No, but anyway, like they showed me, they're like CDs were huge when like they were in college. I mean, you don't really do CDs anymore, but
Right.
they had these booklets of like next page, and like it was so cool, and it's such good stuff too, like classic stuff.
The old zipper booklet. You could do a 2x2 on a big square booklet that you unzip and you flip and you flip and you flip.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they had. They probably had more than that. They probably had like 2x3. But yeah, that was what I remember of Robbie meeting Chelsea. Was like, I didn't think I knew a girl who was more into music than I was. And so
that's awesome,
which is great. So well, why don't we scooch over? We got a lot of history, except not a ton of history, but enough to fill up my notes for sure. And we'll get to that. We'll get to other things right after this sweet break. Anything else we want to say before we send it to a sweet walk break?
Not at all. This was a pretty boring week for me.
Nah, it's always still a fun time. So here we go to break. And we're back. We got the notes. You got the listening. But before we get into listening to the history and stuff like that, there's some notes I wanted to get to. First of all, we have some exciting things coming up. Next week, we're planning on reviewing a BTAC sample 2023 that was sent to us from Buffalo Trace. We have some other big bottles on the horizon too, like Ode to Isla Batch 2, Parker's Heritage Rye, and more. So stay tuned in weeks to come, because we're not skimping. It's going to be good. So another reminder, we're going to do this every week until the episode. Don't forget about Chill Filtered Christmas this year, and Christmas gifts. And even just by sending a package or a gift package through Amazon, you're in the runnings for a Nika from the Barrel on behalf of Cole, and a Eagle Rare on behalf of Bryan. But the one selected as best gifter will be getting a bottle of Blanton's Gold on behalf of me, and a bottle of Ode to Isla on behalf of Bryan. Ode to Isla Batch 1.
There's an update on there.
Oh, yeah?
This just in. The Eagle Rare has been upgraded to Weller Antique 107.
Whoa, that's a red bottle. That's not just the green special reserve, people. No, that's great. Hey, so good reason to either, send us a gift, or, like a lot of people did it last year where they just sent us something from Amazon, didn't have to deal with the shipping themselves. So keep that in mind. We've got some great gifts in the past. I still remember John Hughes sent what is it? Oaken crap. What is the company called? Oaken.
What is the product?
It's a glass, like a travel glass.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking
Asian
about.
ore.
Oh, there you go.
Asian ore. And then he sent a Mark Cornbleu Glencairn once, and that's nice. I still have it. I still use it. And same with the Asian ore. Ben Klepsik sent a killer whiskey bag last year. We got a bean hat from Sean Ciaro.
I was gonna say last year was pretty Bush's baked beans heavy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a lot of beans. We got I think Nathan Anthony sent a bean koozie. It was a good time. It was a great time. So we're hoping to outshine it this year. And so if you want our addresses, feel free to reach out on Instagram, or maybe reach out to Robbie Deadlow if you want it to be a surprise. Robbie R. Deadlow at Instagram, or at R. Deadlow on Instagram. He will send you our addresses if you want it to be a surprise. So gifts are great. We love gifts, and we gift back. That thirdly, for those on Patreon, Don't forget to sign up for our first annual Chill Filtered sample sharing Secret Santa. We got some people signed up already, but I know there's a lot of people that haven't signed up that I know want to still sign up. So keep that in mind. Join us for that, because it's going to be
the form to fill out there. A lot of questions to try to help guide someone's choices to maybe something they think you might like more than other things. And so fill out that form the best you can, because it might influence what you get.
Yep, exactly. So let's talk about what we're drinking this week. We're drinking Sentinel Rye, batch 2. This is definitely not our first Sentinel product on the podcast. In fact, we did batch 1 this year, mid-January of 2023. And we've done 7 prior episodes already on Whiskey Del Bac products, believe it or not. That's catching up to like Buffalo Trace products. It all started with Dorado, episode 113, which seems so stinking long ago. That was pre-COVID, I think. No.
I don't even remember pre-COVID.
Episode 113. So no, that was just a little bit after COVID. Yeah. Did you? Yeah, never mind. So did you know that there was a COVID?
No, I had
So we covered a lot of basics regarding the distillery and how it started and how it's going since the start. But let's go into a little bit of what makes Sentinel Rye so special with the background of a little bit of the history of the distillery. So Whiskey Del Bac is known more so as an American single malt producer, and a very special one at that. And I would say a very good one at that. But they're known for 2 main products, at least in terms of distillate. Their classic malt juice and their Dorado malt juice, if you put it in my Cole's terms, malt John, But anyway, similar to how you get 2 different scotches, just going east to west in Scotland. You get a very an unsmoked variety and a smoked variety. In Scotland, this is based on peat from the malting process. Peat is not what people would call a clean burning product, but there's a healthy level of smoke that forms when burning it, as opposed to some Highland malts that use either charcoal or other cleaner burning methods or heating methods for drying the malted barley. But in America, we're not known for our peat bogs. We can't easily take advantage of such smoke in such a way, but we are known for smoke in other ways. Ways like Texas style barbecue, for example. We're definitely a smoky bunch when it comes to that sweet fat dripping brisket. So that's where it all started for a man named Stephen Paul, the founder of Whiskey Del Bac, living in Tucson, Arizona, and smoking himself some barbecue with some mesquite wood, a wood very common in the deserts of the Southwest, and it grows like a weed there. Do you have any mesquite on your property?
Nope, not at all.
Have you ever found like how fast that stuff grows?
No, actually.
For a tree. So we had one in our front yard when we lived in Gilbert, and we had to trim it back so much. It was like stupid how fast it grew.
Oh, okay, I had to Google mesquite tree, but yeah, I do
you've seen it. It's got the small leaves, like the tiny little leaves, and then the bark is very easy. But then the crazy thing is, it's a dry kind of wood, and it grows really well in the desert. But it's very dense, and if you ever burn it, it takes a long time to actually burn through a piece of the wood. I don't even know, like there's so many properties to it that like make it really good, and it's very smoky. And it's not just like oak. You can't, like, if you burn oak, it'll burn decently quick, but like mesquite like takes its time to burn, and it like smokes the whole time. And so anyway, but it was crazy. We had one in our front yard. So anyway,
you could have made whiskey.
Paul. Yeah, exactly. Stephen Paul, he's sipping on some peated scotch with his smoker going and gets an idea. What if instead of peat, one would use mesquite in the malting process? And Whiskey Del Bac Dorado was conceived. Since then, they put out some quality releases of their classic unmesquiteed American single malt and the Dorado mesquiteed, not peated, smoky single malt. and some amazing, and I mean amazing, special releases since then. But about a year ago, Mark Viertaler and the gang at WDB, as I wrote it down, thought it might be a good idea to release a special edition that wasn't an American single malt. What if they did a rye? Now it's a lot to start a whole different product at a distillery that's making only single malts for years. So in fact, they decided to source and from MGP in Indiana. And they didn't stop there. Knowing Mark, I know he couldn't live with himself if he just stopped there. Like if he was just like, let's just sell MGP juice. No, you got to bring in the Southwest terroir and a smoky terroir at that. So Sentinel Rye is a batched release rye whiskey that is finished in recently used Dorado casks for a few months at least in the Sonoran Desert summer. And then it is mellowed similar to the Lincoln County process with sugar maple charcoal, but it's mellowed through mesquite charcoal instead of sugar maple. And that was used basically that charcoal was used in the malting process for the, like normally like you burn the peat, but they burn the mesquite. They used that. They poured the whiskey through a bunch of that charcoal, took it out on the other side, and to develop the smoky flavor even more. Now this is batch 2. And I remember Mark definitely wanted some constructive feedback last time. And I know this time is no different. So we can be very honest and very real and very much about what I would love to see next time.
Yeah, we certainly can, because we bought these bottles ourselves.
Exactly. Well, this one, actually, my bottle and Robbie's bottle were sent to us. And I still haven't even cracked it yet because I was waiting for this one.
Good disclosure.
Bryan bought it at Total Wine, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's a rye mash bill, like we said, from MGP. I don't know if it's their 95.5 rye, but that's one of the bigger ones you'll find at MGP. At least 2 years aged, and then finished in mesquited single malt barrels for at least a summer, mellowed through mesquite charcoal after finishing. Does that ring a bell? Like, not ring a bell. Does that set something off in your mind? What makes that interesting besides, it's mesquite? Because it caught something that I realized recently.
Being charcoal mellowed?
Yes.
No.
Think about this. The order of mellowing.
The order. No,
so Tennessee whiskey does not age and then mellow. They mellow and then age. So this is where it gets a little different. They mellow after the aging.
Okay.
So anyway, as opposed to Tennessee whiskey. The Lincoln County process. So anyway, 92 proof. I'd like to thank Whiskey Del Bac for sending us these bottles, but we will make a subjective or objective or whatever the review is where we're honest. Total wine price, $40. Is that what you got it for? Wow. Totally. Incredible. For a MGP rye, even a 2-year MGP rye. Good deal. All right. Have you cracked your
no.
We get to crack and pop? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got the plastic off. I'm ready to pop.
You'll hear the plastic on mine then. Okay, you didn't hear much. But nice black cork.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Nice. Let's do this. Wait, let me take one last sip of my batch 1. Yeah, 90% rye, 10% funk. Let's see batch 2.
We want the funk.
Yow. Gotta have that funk. All right. And then I got, luckily, so on Ode to Isla, they didn't put a batch number on each bottle, but for Sentinel, for some reason, they made it very clear.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. They didn't want to go the batch route.
I'm going to speak directly to Mark Viertaler. Next Ode to Isla, put a batch number on it. Even though they are differentiable, as one says finished in rye cast or something like that, and one says finished in bourbon.
Yeah.
Put a batch number because people, well, you know what the funny thing is I'm not going to hold on to my bottles being like, check out this collector's item. I'm going to drink my bottles. But it is kind of cool if I keep the empty bottle, I'll be like, this was batch 1. And they'll be like, why was it batch 1? Well, because they didn't put a batch number on it. And they called it finished in bourbon cask. Yeah. So that's my thing, Mark. Hey, and Mark, while you're listening, Robbie was stoked to see that you guys got a 5-panel hat on your website recently. So good on you guys. Whatever, is it a 5-panel? Is that what they call it?
I swear that's what Robbie said. I don't know anything about hats, but I'm quite sure that Robbie wanted a 5-panel hat.
Yeah,
because I remember thinking that like 5 panels. So there's got to be a line in the middle of your head somewhere. Yeah, it must be on the back.
Probably the back.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't wear hats.
Back to the batches, though. I second the batch number call out. If you've got, this is my opinion, obviously, but if you've got a product that comes out and hits shelves and sells out and is gone until next year,
it's a big deal.
I want to see the batch number on next year's batch. And, maybe, okay, so Found North, for example. I wasn't even introduced to Found North until like batch 6. And the fact that somebody was telling me there were 5 before this had me so much more intrigued.
That's a great point. Could you imagine when like Ode to Isla has got like a batch 7 and people are like, what the crap is this amazingness? Right. And then they'll be like, there were 6 batches before this and I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. And certain batches are saying they were finished in this or that. Like, yeah.
One other funny fact. If you look at batch 1, I'll read it for you guys. It says, for Sentinel, we start with a sweet and bold. This is batch 1 for the record. Yeah. We start with sweet and bold straight rye and finish it in freshly harvested mesquite Whiskey Del Bac cask at a hot Sonoran desert summer. And then it's filtered across mesquite charcoal from the mesquited malting process as in an homage to the Franklin County method. Then we would look at batch 2. I'll skip ahead to then it's filtered across mesquite charcoal from the mesquited malting process in an homage to traditional charcoal mellowing methods. You see the difference there?
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as the Franklin County method, which I called out with batch 1 because they meant to say Lincoln County method instead of the Franklin County method. Franklin's
cute,
like Frankfurt area of Kentucky.
Yeah, that makes batch 1 even more special.
Yes, it does. And I still got, actually, it was one of your gifts from Christmas last year. It was a Sentinel batch 1 signed by Stephen Paul himself. So that was a good gift right there. And then, okay. What else was I thinking? Oh, so I do take credit for that, for changing it to traditional charcoal mellowing methods instead of the
yes, they learned from the podcast.
They learned from me, baby.
Aged no less than 2 years, by the way, it says on here.
Yeah, I think both did, yeah. Yep. I mean, they did say straight rye, so that means at least 2 years.
Yeah. But that is the only age statement on here for what it's worth.
Okay.
Are you smelling
getting a little candy?
Yeah.
It is. I think on the nose, it's slightly more funky. And not like too funky, but I would say the percentage of funk exceeds 10%. Slightly on the nose only. We'll see how the palate goes, but on the nose, they might have funked it up a little bit more. And I'm down for the funk. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. Give us the funk. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I've only nosed so far. Lots of fruit. It's classic MGP rye fruit.
It reminds me of a Nulu.
Yeah, the kind of cherry that I get on Sagamore, big time, because Sagamores are always very cherry rye to me. This has plenty of that cherry. But I agree with the funk. I was curious to see what you compared against batch 1, because I do think there's funk here, and I think I'm getting like a dry grassy, not earthiness like dirt, but I'm getting a dry.
Yes. I think you nailed it. Yeah, because I just smelled batch 1 again, and batch 1 was
juicier,
brighter.
Fruitier? Okay.
A little bit fruitier. Yeah, I would even say juicier. Yeah, you're killing it. I don't even have to say anything today.
Yeah. How many
I would
miles
say
away
juicier
from
is
that
the
am I? Smelling
yeah.
it all the way over here.
You're like, I smell onions. Like, that's it. No. But yeah, grassier is definitely the prominent funk note on the batch 2, which I did not get on batch 1, which is kind of cool. But I am with you. Cherries, I wouldn't call it apples. I would say, yeah, this definitely reminds me of like a straight Nulu, but which is good. It's good to say, I mean, for a 2-year plus rye, it's not bad. So what do you think of the palate?
Yeah, palate is very good. I think I'm trying to remember batch 1. I wish I still had it, but it's not as sweet fruit. I'm not getting as much fruit on the palate, and I'm getting kind of traditional rye. It's got a little more rye spice than I remember being in batch 1. You'll have to tell me what you think about that. But yeah, I'm getting a rye spice and not as much cherry on the palate. And the mesquite, actually, I'm going to have to search for this mesquite. I wasn't tasting much smoky mesquite.
I'm going to say it now. Batch 1 was better. Wait. Yes. So far, batch 1 was better. And okay, so here's my complaint. Going from one to the other, I feel like let me sip it again real quick. There's a youth to batch 2. I don't know why. Maybe it was the exact same product, but I am tasting a little bit of small barrels, which I know Whiskey Del Bac uses like 22 galloners or something like that, which is fine. And they kill it. They kill it with those barrels. And I don't know if it's the MGP age. I don't know if it was whatever, but there's a little more youth for some reason to batch 2. And batch 1, I didn't zero in on the youth of the barrels and like the youth of the whiskey. I think it's still good. It's not like soapy. It's definitely not soapy. Like I sometimes say small barrels and youth brings. But let me clarify that again. Like I kind of stand by it, but I want to be positive about it. So I'm going to go for another sip of both real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to send me your soapiest small barrel bottle that you have. If you have any.
Have you ever had Black Maple Hill Oregon Rye?
No.
It was trash.
Do you have a bottle?
I don't like to bash brands or anything like that. And normally Black Maple Hill was known for good stuff until they got bought out. I don't know. I give those bottles away when I get them. But I gave one to Adam when we first started the podcast, and I was like, I haven't drank it yet, but like they got such a great reputation. And he was like, this is really like, and he waited for me to taste it, and he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, this is trash. And he's like, yeah, I thought so too. And I was like, sorry for gifting this because I didn't know it was that bad. Yeah, it was terrible. So, okay, so one of the other ones I got it on, but this was like 8 years ago, was Few bourbon. I got it on that, but that's been a while. And I imagine they've really honed in on aging for what they do. But yeah, those were the two that were like, ooh, the soapiest.
This is
yeah,
graduating a little to me. I took a big sip on purpose. And I am getting a little bit of apple. I'm getting a little bit of like a yellow apple. Not a tart green or anything, but like I'm getting a mellow apple. It's not very sweet. Yeah. And there is some mesquite there for sure. Getting it on the big sip for sure. So I think overall I am very light, mellow apple mesquite with rye spice.
Okay. Mellow. Okay. Let me talk about what I like first. It is more funky than batch 1.
Be careful what you wish for, Cole.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like it's not. I could tell it's not the process. I think it's the age. I honestly think that it's the age, because there's only two things that lead me to believe or get that note, and it's either underaged, and usually even sometimes 2 years can get there, but then it's also using small barrels. But I wouldn't imagine, like, even though, yes, Whiskey Del Bac uses small barrels for they're not small, they're like half barrels for the aging of the Dorado. But that being said, they kill it in the single malt department. Even their special, like everything they do, even the classic is amazing in their barrels. They just know the timing perfectly. So I don't think even a finished for a few months really put that age in there or put that note in there.
That's what I was going to say. It was, if it was in small
it
barrels,
was already
it was
aged
only
in large
small
barrels
for like 2 months. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't think it's that. I just think maybe their distillate was just different than the batch one. And Mark would know. Mark knows. He knows the barrels he got. And I doubt he changed anything. There's just something about this that is more youthful. And that's not a good thing, in my opinion. Yeah. But that being said, I'm getting a little honey, like Manuka honey, even. Ooh, big note.
I've got a Manuka honey whiskey from New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah.
That's super cool, actually. Is it good?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
It's less than okay, to be honest. Yeah.
But I want to love this. I really do.
Yeah. And I mean,
but I'm not saying it's bad. I would drink this, but I do think it is not an improvement on last year. And I love you, Mark, and I know you can take constructive criticism, but I don't think this was an improvement from last year.
Yeah.
I hate saying that, though. It's hard. It's hard to say that.
It comes from a place of love.
It does. And I know Mark's going to only improve on all the things he's ever done. So.
Yeah.
I mean, except for batch 2. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, $40 product. I wonder.
That's a great point.
I'm sure there's a million equations that go into this, but if they bought MGP barrels that were 6 years old, I wonder how much the price would go up on Sentinel to have to compensate for that. Totally. I might be willing to pay for it, but I wonder if as many people as would make it worth it would be willing to pay for it.
I think they would. If they can, like I said, the terroir, if you could bring in the smoke, you could bring in that Southwest feel, it's going to be worth it. But if it's just going to be an MGP rye, a 6-year MGP rye, Mark wouldn't have it. And I don't blame him. I think he's got enough pride in his work to not just put out something that he didn't make or he didn't improve or like make his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go to water?
Let's go to water. I got to add a little more. I've been drinking enough of it.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said, it's not bad. And to factor in the price, this is actually really good for a $40 rye. I mean, where else can you buy a $40 rye? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Yeah. I actually wonder, like, what off the top of your head, are there any other besides like Sazerac, if you can find it?
Yeah,
it's like a $40 rye.
Yeah, but I mean, Buffalo Trace stuff is always priced ridiculously low for what it is. It hardly even counts.
That's
true. I mean, there's cheap ryes that are really good. I mean, like Old Forester.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 100 proof Old
100 proof. Yeah.
I love so much. That might be my value king.
What about their bourbons? Do you prefer their Hundo or their 86?
So I actually haven't had much of the lower proof ones.
Ooh.
I've had 1920, 1910. But I haven't had, what is it, 1897 or something? I have
1870, which is actually decent in my opinion. Yeah. For the proof, it's really good.
Nice.
But like you got to try their 86er.
Oh yeah.
Their 86er beats their 100 proof to me.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I tried a fun little blend I heard about on the internet here, where you take half 1910 and half Statesman. I don't even know what the deal with Statesman is. There was a buddy of mine wanted so it was actually for an Old Forester barrel strength rye back before like I saw anywhere back before I hardly even knew about it. There was a restaurant that had a bundle, and I knew my buddy really wanted one. So I was like, all right, I'll buy this bundle, and you can buy the Old Forester Rye off me at cost, and then I'll just do whatever with the rest or whatever. So I had this Statesman laying around for forever. And then I finally heard about this fun blend, back to what I was saying earlier,
Nice.
blending half Statesman and half 1910, and then putting a charred oak spiral in the bottle for like 2 weeks. And it's supposed to the proof is supposed to be around birthday bourbon proof, and it'll have this extra little oaky, to be honest, it's a little kind of a fake oaky flavor. But for a fun way to kind of make 1910's already double oaked, so triple oaked, if you will,
triple oaked,
something that's hopefully similar to like birthday bourbon. Sounded like a fun thing. So I've got it brewing now, if you will, with the wood spiral in there. I'll take it out in about a week and a half.
What have you ever had birthday bourbon?
Never. That's top 1 or 2 on my like next time I'm going for a big pour at a bar, I'll try birthday bourbon finally.
Yeah, I think I told you this, that I had a bottle of the 2015, and I literally gave it away. I like finished half the bottle and thought it was meh.
Oh wow!
Like it wasn't meh, but for a birthday bourbon, it was meh. And then I got 3 friggin' bottles of the 2016.
Wow!
And I traded each one of them because I was like,
the
2015 was that like okay, then I could get a value for my 2016s. Come to find out, years later, someone's like, "You got to try this birthday bourbon," and they hand me a 2016. And it was like the best I could ever imagine a birthday bourbon could taste like. And the funny thing was, they're like, trust me, it tastes like birthday cake. And I was like, yeah, that's just in your head. Like you're just thinking that because it's birthday bourbon. And I tried it. I'm like, this is like funfetti birthday cake. It was great. Crazy. It was like one of the best whiskeys, probably top 20 I've ever had.
Wow. The low proof of birthday bourbon scares me a little bit.
Sometimes they get a little higher.
I try not to be a proof hound, but I do favor higher proof stuff. I kind of want to be punched.
Don't they do change every one? I know the age changes. Does the proof change, or is it always like 90 or whatever?
I think the proof, I don't know that it changes every time. I know that it has changed.
Okay, gotcha.
That's all I know.
Yeah, I want to say there's like hundos or like more than hundos.
Yeah,
but
I think lately it's been in the 90s, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, on the nose, the nose is almost the same to me with water. I'm not getting much different at all.
So I liked last time.
What you mean, batch 1 or
mean,
what?
Though, like it's not mean. I really don't think it's mean.
Yeah.
But I'm not loving. It's a little too floral, a little too open. Like I said, it reminds me of Too Youthful, and it shows up a little more with the water.
My grassy note on the nose earlier goes away with water. I think I get a little more sweetness. I get a little more sweetness than that dry grassy I was talking about earlier on the nose.
Okay. Yeah. A little more honey on the palate, but I'm still getting all the other notes that I was talking about, kind of that youthful.
It takes the edge off a little bit. Yeah. Water takes the edge off a little bit, and it's not actually the honey, I like that. My apple kind of turned into honey a little bit. You probably put that in my head, but it's a little sweeter in that sense.
Yeah, definitely sweeter. 100% sweeter. But not 100% sweeter. If you know what I mean? Not like twice as sweet as
200% sweetness.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll see how ice goes.
I'm gonna go against the grain here and just take one more neat sip, just to make sure I'm not crazy, just to make sure that I actually added enough water there. For science. It's all for science.
For the sake of science. For the sake of art. You know what is it, MGM, the movie company or whatever. They used to have the roaring lion in the beginning of the movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it would say Ars Gratia Artis.
Oh yeah.
Which in my Latin days it meant art for the sake of art, and this is for the sake of art, for the sake of science.
This podcast is art. Let's be real.
This is art. Darn right. I was
1,000 years from now, people will be watching this.
Yeah, they'll be like,
this is the pinnacle of humanity.
Yeah, that's what they'll look to us for who the world was.
Yeah, and what whiskey was actually good.
Yeah, there's a podcast that's called Omnibus, and it's co-hosted by the guy the lead singer from the band what is it? The something Winters. I don't even know. The Long Winters or something like that.
Nah.
But the other co-host is Ken Jennings from Jeopardy.
Oh yeah.
And I love Ken Jennings, and he is so witty. And I love this podcast. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I loved the podcast because Ken Jennings would be so witty throughout. And there was like this one of the funniest points one time was made, like, I don't know, like in the future, you know, where it's like Star Wars, and Ken Jennings like shuts him down. He's like, "Hey, John," he's like, "How many times do I have to tell you that this was a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away?" Just like stuff like that, where he like is just very witty about like things left and right. But basically the purpose, or not the purpose, but like the premise of the podcast is to talk about weird things of human history, as if it were a time capsule for the future when the world ends and aliens take over and stuff like that.
So they're like recapping stuff that happened in history.
It's mostly like weird things like pole sitting, like when people would like sit on top of poles and like make a spectacle out of that. They're like, let's talk about that for a moment and stuff like that. It's funny. Yeah. Omnibus, check it out. Don't leave us, but check them out as well.
Can't wait to see what you think of this ice. You did ice, right?
Yeah, I just did ice.
Do you have any ice left in there? Did you put enough ice in there?
It melted fully through, but it's enough. I definitely.
How will we ever know you actually put ice
exactly.
in there?
No, people saw me drop a cube.
I put a ton of ice in mine, because I wanted to make sure that I chilled it appropriately. And I'm getting huge sweetness now, and actually a tiny little cinnamon note on the finish. But I will say my nose,
save it.
My nose is absolutely nothing. I had
oh really?
As much of my nose as I could fit in my Weaglin Cairn was fully in there. It was oh my gosh, the guy who will kill you if you hold your glass.
Richard Patterson.
Richard Patterson, yeah. If Richard Patterson would approve of the way that I was sniffing this, and I couldn't smell anything,
I would kill you.
Yeah. But anyway, the palate is there's zero spice. All rye spice is gone on the palate. All I get is a smooth kind of honey sweetness with a little cinnamon aftertaste. That actually is like, I like it. It's a fun novelty that I've found as a tasting note on this for me.
I like that. So it sounds mean. I don't want to be mean. I love Mark. I love what they're doing at Whiskey Del Bac, but I have already poured batch 1 into my neat glass that I had finished. To kind of go back to it. Okay. So I said I don't hate the neat. I don't hate the water. I would never pour ice again in batch 2 because it's too floral. It's too oaky buttery in a not good way.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know how like Chardonnays get kind of buttery sometimes?
Exactly
it's too
what I was
much.
Gonna say.
Yeah.
I got this bug flying around here driving me nuts. I don't like oaked Chardonnays. The butteriness, it just like, I would so much rather have something that wasn't trying to be all thick and buttery.
Yeah. But batch 1, baby.
Batch 1, baby. And you've got that. Is your signed one? Is that unopened?
Yeah, still unopened.
Will
but I
you
have
ever open it?
I still got about a half of last year's.
Nice. Yeah, did I tell you, strangely enough, one of the Total Wines nearby put out an Ode to Isla batch 1. It was out on the shelf like yesterday.
Did you see it on shelf?
Yeah. So my
crazy.
buddy saw it, and then I was there for the champagne class last night.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
So I walked over there to see if it's still there, and it was still there. Sure enough.
Which one was it?
Finished in bourbon barrels, batch 1.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Which Total Wine?
Santan.
Okay.
Gilbert.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's funny. If I was there when my buddy was there, I wouldn't have known any different. I hadn't done the research yet. I would have just bought it. I'd been like, heck yeah, this is batch 2. Here we go.
Baby. Yeah.
And I might not have ever known, actually, because I would have gotten home. I would have assumed it was batch 2.
Yeah, you would have never compared.
The batch 1, and I would have been like, this is literally identical.
I guess they didn't put a batch on it.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That's funny. No, that's
When I saw it, I did contemplate buying it, but I was like, nah, don't do it.
How much was it? Was it 90?
Yeah, 90 is the standard Total Wine price here. And while my father-in-law was up here, he was like, hey, we need to go tour Del Bac sometime. And I was
like, you do, down in Tucson.
Yes, we do.
When you visit them. Yeah.
Yep.
Is Sam from Tucson?
So interesting story about Sam. So Sam grew up on a tiny little island called Kwajalein in the Marshall Islands. You ever heard of this?
No way. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a fun, interesting connection here. So Jim, my father-in-law, Mr. Master Stag Picker-Upper, man, for me last week. Yeah. So Jim worked for a defense contractor who had a active contract to work on some equipment that was on a tiny little island called Kwajalein. Wow. And so Sam, I think they were on Kwajalein, Jim and Patty, they were on Kwajalein for a while, and then they moved back to the mainland to have Sam. But when Sam was like 4 or 5, they were like, I miss it. Let's go back. So Sam grew up on Kwajalein from like year 6 to like 14 or something, all the way up till about high school. And then they moved back to the mainland, and Sam went to high school in Tucson. She went to college in Tucson, and then moved up to Phoenix. And then
is she a beach girl?
Oh, she is the beach girl. Are you kidding?
Wow. That's cool. Yeah. Heather and I are neither of us are beach people, though.
Yeah, I never was, but now I'm obligated to be. So
totally. It's like me and Disney. It's like I wasn't a Disney guy, but I'm obligated to be a Disney guy now.
Okay, so Disney or beach? Which do you like more?
Oh well, I told you I don't love beaches.
Yeah, well.
Oh, but I guess I didn't love. Yeah, Disney.
Okay,
Disney.
all right. Yeah. Just curious.
What about you?
I'm well, okay, it's complicated. Yeah. I have to think about how I answer this. Sam still listens to the podcast.
Not for another week or 2.
Yeah, she heard you say that last time.
Chill filtered curse of that too. Yeah.
Now she's like, now I have to keep listening.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what does Bryan enjoy more? I'm Disney over beach. How'd we get here? We're mid ice pour right now, but anyway, I'm Disney over.
I'm over the ice pour.
I'm
ready for this rating.
Let's talk about Disney. I'm Disney over beach. I think I love riding the rides. I love walking around. I love seeing crazy other people at Disney. People watching. Yeah. I love getting weird food items. They have this like pull apart bread thing now that looks amazing. The corn dogs are like ridiculous. I love weird food. I'm a weird food dude.
But Sam got you into Disney, right?
For sure. Yeah. I would have never gone on my own.
You gotta make it happen. A chill filtered Disney vacation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
maybe we'll wait until if you guys have kids, and then we'll introduce you with because like we wouldn't want to slow you guys down with our kids, but like if you guys ever have kids, then we'll be like, we'll like warm up to you as opposed to you warming up to us, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, sure. We'll take the hit. Our kids will be the slow ones.
Yeah, and we'll know what it's like. Yeah,
I get it. In
but
general,
in the
though,
meantime, it'd be like, nah, you guys like go on without us. But if you do have kids, then
we'll be at
like,
your
hey,
mercy.
we're at your pace. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it. In general, like the beach stuff with the vacations, we are kind of go here, see this. I want to eat there. I want to go on that hike. I want to do this stuff. Yeah. Iceland was perfect. New Zealand was perfect. We've done both of those within the last 5 years or so.
That's cool.
New Zealand was better than Iceland, for the record. If you're debating between the two, go for New Zealand. Yeah. But we like to go here and do that kind of vacations. We're not like post up on the beach and just sit all day kind of people. So
can't do that. Can't do it. I'm too ADD. Okay, one last question. What's better, New Zealand whiskey or Icelandic whiskey?
Well, from what New Zealand for sure.
Okay.
Because the Dunedin double cask just blows
good stuff.
Blows Floki out of the water, because Floki is super young. I mean, Floki doesn't have an 18-year double cask finish, whatever. Floki's ensemble is like 2-year age,
smoking in dung,
3-year age. Yeah, birch wood, sheep dung, whatever. It's good.
Which I can respect. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. But yeah, it's still smoked and sheep dung though.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Okay, rating. Let's talk about rating.
Yeah. Hadn't thought about this yet. I was too busy thinking about Disney.
Yeah. So anyway, while you're thinking about your rating,
I'm still thinking. Don't say yours yet, because I really don't want you to influence me on this.
Okay. But I'll talk about something else. So I was like, Heather, we got to do a vacation in 2024. And I was like, what if in April we came to San Antonio?
Yeah.
And she countered with, there's a Smashing Pumpkins concert in Phoenix in September. She's like, why don't we just go to Phoenix? Because we have a lot of good friends there. And I'm like, well, if we went to Phoenix, we'd do a few episodes probably in person.
Yep.
So either way, it's probably a win. So, but I'm still hoping for San Antonio, because one, I got other friends down there too.
Nice.
And then two, it's like I've never seen a full eclipse before. So
you got to do it. Yeah, especially with your reaction to my talking about the eclipse last time.
Love that.
You got to do it. Yeah.
More end body problem stuff.
Yeah, right. So we got a super favorable quote back from a contractor to do these like built-in cabinets and stuff, where I can finally put all my whiskey and everything.
Nice.
So if you do come in September, we can do a sweet in front of the whiskey wall kind of episode. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be killer.
We just reach back and grab whatever and just let's do. Oh, I got it. This is what we're doing. Whether you like it or not, we're doing quick fire reviews. And we reach back and we pour
don't even look.
Pour a sip, slam it, give a review, done. Next one. That's what we're doing. Quick fire reviews.
It might be worth it for how many samples we have now.
Oh yeah, right.
Because we have like so many, and I feel bad because we probably won't ever get to some of them. Because the rate at which we're getting new whiskeys is greater than the rate at which we're drinking them. So it's like, that'd be a good idea.
Well, and with the BTAC, slotting that in next week, right?
Yes.
That's incredible.
So excited.
Saz is the only one I haven't tried at all. I've never had Saz in my life.
Dude, it is unreal. For at least 2020 was. So check this out. Check this freaking out. You know this, but our listeners don't. Found North just released batch 8, and we're gonna review it in 2 weeks. That's another one on the
with some guest.
With Nick Taylor again, which I'm stoked. We got such good feedback from that Nick Taylor episode.
Really?
That I'm excited to have him back on, because he was so easy to talk to. Like, there was not a problem getting that guy to talk.
Yeah.
And they're just talking well with him. And it's not like I was like, that guy talks a lot. No, it's like we just conversed the whole time. It was great.
Yeah.
And we got like excited about things together and stuff like that.
And
so.
yeah, I've got some questions for that dude. Mainly on the bottle, the map on the bottle. What is the map? Is it a certain part of Canada that everyone at the company loves? So they were like, let's get a topographic. No, I wanted you to ask that. But frankly, I don't think I told you that until after the episode.
Yeah.
So it's not on you. But I want to know.
Make sure it happens.
Yeah, I want to know. I'm sure I can come up with other stuff too. Maybe we'll poll Instagram and ask our listeners what we should ask Found North. I think that's a good idea too.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, rating.
Oh, right, rating. I was totally thinking about that. All right, I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
All right. I am gonna go 7.8.
Okay.
And I love Del Bac.
Yes.
But I would have wanted more definition from Del Bac. I would have wanted more Del Baciness. It needed more Del Baciness.
Terroir.
Yeah, give me that Arizona terroir.
Yeah.
It was an MGP rye. It had favorable tasting notes for me. It was a little young. Yeah, we know it was aged at least 2 years. If I'm going to put this up against other stuff, I'm not going to put it in the 8s. So I'm going to do 7, 8. And I'll also say I liked the water pour the most. The water pour had the most complexity to me. But that weird little cinnamon note on the finish from the ice.
Nice.
That was really fun.
Nice. I kind of like, you know how you like sometimes in science you're like, let me go further than my opinion and let me bring it back further than my opinion, and then kind of it's like the Newton's method basically. It's like let's go past and then forward and then back and forth. I decided on a 7.4. Not a super high rating. But it's decent. It's not unlikable. I'll tell you that 7.4 is not unlikable. Once you break 7 or 6.5 to 7, it's like, all right, I might not love this.
Yeah.
And my scale is weird, but
I was thinking, man, now that I'm here in real, I need to make a real scale. I don't
know,
because Matt Porter, man, 2 episodes in a row mentioning Matt Porter. He puts the scale up.
He puts it like great to very good, or very good to great, or
define the scale. I really need to define my own scale.
We could actually do that. We have the ability to put banners and stuff like that, so maybe we should do that in the future.
Hey-o. Next level chill.
We'll have to agree on it though. But then the funny thing is that my scale has been like set in stone, so maybe we should do 2 scales, one for Bryan, one for Cole.
Or we call the podcast Chill Filtered 2.0, and you can totally rebrand.
Yeah, it's weird though, because like one of the biggest determiners of score is Hubba to What status, which I say is like 9.0 normally. Right. So we'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
But so 7.4. I think the good things this has going for it is very honey, very sweet throughout. Every pour had sweetness. I think my biggest criticism is that I don't think this was the same exact distillate as 2021 or batch 1, basically. I think there was something different, and maybe Mark was like, hey, I literally got the same thing. Maybe you did. Maybe it was just a matter of aging in Indiana or something like that. Like maybe it was just not a good summer for Indiana that summer, but there's too much youth for me to love this. So I like it merely. It's not quite meh on my secondary scale, but it is a little lower than last year. I still am drinking last year's right now. It's good rye, good stinking rye, and it's got that funk, but the youth on batch 2 took it down a notch for me. So that's
neat
all
pour
I gotta
favorite.
Say.
Neat pour.
Neat pour was favorite. Yep. Yep. So that's all I got. Anything else before we move on to the next segment?
Nope.
So let's move it on to our next segment we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This segment is called Whiskey World News. We're going to read an article that we didn't write. Going to read it. And this article is from Breaking Bourbon.
Nice.
I can't credit an author because I'm not. Oh, it's published by the entire team. They each consecutively typed letters to churn out this article.
Yeah, work together.
And the article is about Frey Ranch, introducing limited edition Frey Ranch American single malt smoked whiskey. This seems applicable. Seems applicable to what we've been drinking today. So as the American single malt category heats up, award-winning Frey Ranch Distillery enters the market with the limited release of Frey Ranch American single malt smoked whiskey. At 110 proof and aged for 6 years and 7 months, Frey Ranch American single malt smoked whiskey was produced using 100% of the slow-grown barley that is grown, harvested, and now smoked, and then milled and distilled on the Frey Ranch farm. And this is particularly why I wanted to read this. I thought that it was interesting that they literally do it all here.
Yeah.
So back to the article. As with all Frey Ranch whiskeys, Frey Ranch American Single Malt Smoked Whiskey is a testament to Frey Ranch co-founder and whiskey farmer Colby Frey's ingenuity and ability to employ his farming and mechanical acumen when creating new whiskeys. Not only did he grow 100% of the barley used to create the mash bill, but he fashioned the smoker himself. Instead of purchasing an industrial smoker, Colby and Frey Ranch master distiller Russell Wedlake reconstituted a smoker from an old grain silo and a fireplace, allowing the whiskey to be smoked versus roasted.
I love that.
Yeah, right. Additionally, Colby made his own peat. He made his own peat from decomposed plant matter on the farm, pressing it into bread pans and dehydrating it to properly smoke the whiskey from the desired taste profile. Designed as a sipping whiskey, the result is a rich, robust American single malt that pairs beautifully with smoked Gouda. Oh my gosh, I love smoked Gouda.
Smoked Gouda. That's
blue cheese or chocolate. On the nose, the whiskey emits aromas of campfire, huckleberry, and sweet pipe tobacco. On the palate, hints of leather with thick yet soft mouthfeel. What? Hints of leather with a thick yet soft mouthfeel. Okay. The finish dazzles with a lingering yet exquisite taste of sweet cigarillo.
Huh.
Have you ever had Frey Ranch?
No, I've never had Frey Ranch. Where are they from again?
Nevada. I want to say kind of northish Nevada.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. No, I love the idea that they basically smoked it on their own and made it work. Because here's the thing. It's like these old Scottish, especially these Islay or like island distilleries in Scotland, they did it on their own. Like they made their own, like they made it work. And that's kind of what it sounds like. I always thought it was Frey Ranch, but maybe it's Frey Ranch. Are you sure of that? Either way, I've known people that with their last name Frey and it's Fry, but who knows? I've known people where it's probably Frey. Who knows?
If it turns out it's Fry, and the people who know that listen to this, they cringed about 96 times while I read that. So that's cool.
Oh, God. How to pronounce Frey Ranch? Anyway,
it's got to be.
I love it.
We'll find a YouTube video of somebody talking about it. Somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, but it seems like a cool thing, and I love how they're just making it work. And here's the other thing: 6.5 years. That's impressive.
Yeah.
It sounds like he did those steps, barley related steps 6.5 years ago.
That's what it sounds like.
I would love to try it. So
they clearly take pride in doing literally everything themselves. I thought that was pretty cool.
Talk about a not clean burn. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, no, I love it. That's great. I can dig it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Ready to move on to
yourself?
No,
Besides what you said? No, that's
no
fine.
more thoughts. I mean, single malt, I'm interested. Smoked it
Yeah.
themselves, I'm interested. Actually,
Yeah.
did I read that correctly? It was $60.
Whoa. For a 6.5-year single
Oh,
malt, both smoked?
I didn't read that out
Uh-huh.
loud, but it does say down here that it is available online at freyranch.com, and it is
Nice.
59. Oh, it's $59 for a 375.
Oh, so
But
probably
still,
more than
at
that
least you
for
can
double.
pay less for a more wallet digestible form factor there if you
Totally.
want to try it and support a small
Mhm.
business and blah blah blah.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. If anyone in our Nevada sector wants to help us out and get us a 375 of that, we'll review it.
Yeah.
So, but with that, I guess it's time for our next segment of the show that we like to call "What Whiskey Would You Choose?" Let's go over last week's results. I got that, unless you already did, Brian. Did
Nope.
you?
Nope.
Okay,
I
let
have
me pull
not
it up.
looked.
So let's do this. We got to go to this button and then this button. Sorry, everyone.
While you're pushing buttons, here's what I'm gonna do.
Uh-huh.
I ordered the Del Bac Ode to Isla Batch 2,
Uh-huh.
and I couldn't help myself. The tasting notes for this that I'm holding up in front of the camera right
Yeah.
now, the Del Bac Fall Release 2023, intrigued me too much to say no. And it intrigued me
Mhm.
too much to say no because it is finished in, it's a, if I remember correctly, it's a blend that was, some of it was finished in Sautern barrels and some
Mhm.
of it was finished in tawny port barrels, and that was
Nice.
blended together. I say it, I could have done a lot better job explaining this, but
Nice.
it is the mesquited base,
Nice.
and it was finished in tawny port and Sautern, and I was smelling it and I'm sipping it a little bit, and I do like it. I guess I'll try to think of a rating real quick for a quick fire rating, but
Yeah.
I do wish that more of the Sautern sweetness and more
Mhm.
of the tawny port came out. The
Mhm.
mesquite is keeping me from the tawny port and the Sautern notes. So I'm a little let down there, but all in all, I like it because I really like the mesquite smoked base,
Mhm.
and it is quite mesquitey. So rating is
So
coming in at eight
go
five
ahead. 8.5?
eight.
I can dig that. That is officially Dustin's blend. I looked it up. The fall
Dustin's
2023 Distiller's Cut was Dustin's blend, which we
gotcha.
met Dustin. What a guy. So shout out to Dustin if you're listening. We love you. Keep up the good work. Was that the cat?
Yeah, and also my desk decided to just crack underneath my arm. I don't my desk is
Nice.
falling apart over here. So
That's the weight of chill filtered for you.
yeah, right. I'm just leaning on this desk over here. Oh, that was nuts. I hope that doesn't come across really loud for podcast listeners. Sorry about that.
It's forgettable. Let's
I
just say
hope
that.
so.
So you destroyed me last week
Oh yeah.
in the results from the poll. So the question was, which whiskey would you choose if the price was no option? What's the best for an old fashioned? Brian said Woodford Reserve batch proof, and I said just straight up Buffalo Trace. And the the percentage was 87-13 that
Boom.
Brian destroyed me with.
So what is that?
So
6-1 ish or something like that?
pretty much, yeah.
What
Or no, that's close to 7-1.
yo.
Yeah.
What in it since then, just
hmm
if you were up in the middle of the night thinking about random stuff, did you come up with anything else? Anything
No,
else
I
that
just
you
love a good Buffalo Trace old fashioned. It's just
double
unbeatable to
down?
me. Yeah.
Double down. I like it. I
Double
like it.
down. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get many. But then the some people wrote in and we got some good answers. We got Kilted 518. That's Miles Ferguson said Wild Turkey Rare Breed. R Deadlow said that's Robbie Deadlow. Said Stag little or large or little for a high proof tipple.
Oh yeah.
Such a tipple. Dramhound said I like rye in my faux old fashioned. Parker's Heritage 8-year heavy char would be good though.
Faux old
That's
fashioned.
I guess like he might be saying like a rye old fashioned as opposed to like a bourbon old fashioned.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Low class high proof said Elijah Craig barrel proof. I don't know exactly what batch, but he put a picture. But Marco and AZ said, need the proof points. Overly hot Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. El Chupacabra. This is a guy I knew from, actually, you've probably been there. You ever been to the White Rabbit in Gilbert?
Oh, many times.
Yeah, he used to be their head bartender there. This
cool.
guy, I forget what his name was, but El Chupacabra.
Yeah,
He
his
said
real
Four
name
Roses
is El Chupacabra.
single barrel.
Yeah.
It probably is. Yeah. Four Roses single barrel. So he poured me some Baccarat or whatever, how it's pronounced, Baccarat.
Dang,
for free. He was just like, you got to try this. You ever try it?
No, God, no.
Trash. Not trash. Nothing special.
It makes me so happy to hear you say that.
Yes,
like, how could
nothing special?
I mean, it's all presentation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like a $500 bottle from Woodford, and it's like,
wait, no, it's more than 500, right?
But the retail was 500.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Well,
yeah. Maybe it was more.
All right. I will Google it while you continue.
Google it, yeah. So I'll go through some more. But yeah, what a nice guy, like a bartender to be like, hey, you're into whiskey, try this. So I'm like, dude, I'll try that. Okay, so we got some great next few answers. We got Madtown Marketer, that's Ben Klepsig, said Alberta Premium Cask Strength. He says, I like Wisconsin style, and he's referring to old fashioned, but rye whiskey sour, not brandy sweet, which I can dig. Not brandy in your old fashioned people. I love Wisconsin, love the people there, but don't love the old fashioned. Although it's good, don't get me wrong, it's sweet and nice, but it's not an old fashioned. Bruesque, he said, actually really like Jim Beam Black, especially for black Manhattans, but then he followed up to say, actually, but my favorite is Alberta Premium Cask Strength, just like Ben Klepsig said, batch 1, when it was always on sale, but it is no longer. So those are our answers for this week. Bryan, did you find out?
I did. The MSRP for Baccarat is $2,000.
What? Dude, that's a pour you get to share with a friend right there.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I got a free sample of that. That's great.
Yeah, that's nuts. And it is also the chunkiest bottom bottle I've ever seen in my entire life.
Talk about like Michter's 10 Rye times like 3.
Yeah. You can drop that bottle off a building and come dig it out of the ground afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's still going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be shards, but it'll survive. What was I thinking? No, that's crazy. I can't believe I've tried that then. But yeah, shout out to El Chupacabra. Okay. You, I believe, have what whiskey would you choose for this week? What you got?
This week's what whiskey would you choose is what whiskey
did I say
would
that?
you? I don't know, whatever.
I don't know what I said.
All right, all y'all listening, what whiskey would you choose when you're sitting around your fire pit drinking whiskey? Because it is fire pit season.
Love it.
Time to get out there, put some wood on the fire. Not a gas fire pit. No. None of that. Yeah, wood burning fire pit.
And if Robbie were here, he'd be saying solo stove. Or solo whatever thing.
I have been seeing some good deals on those. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm thinking about one for Christmas.
They look real nice. Wait, did one of y'all gift the other a solo stove? No, you gifted Robbie a pizza oven.
Yeah, but it was like it was a Camp Chef related pizza oven. Yeah, cool.
That's right. That's right.
I forgot about that. Yeah. And I forgot, I'm sure you know, but we also gift each other something. Usually it's a bottle and something else. Mm-hmm. So prep your mind.
Yep. I will think about it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got a month or two, or a month and a half. What was I thinking? Okay, something comes to mind for me, but it reminds me of a camping whiskey, and I have my go-to camping whiskey, which is Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. Ooh. Love that bottle. Love that experience for like hitting around a fire. Actually, okay. I had a friend reach out recently. He was a young guy, and he was like, remember that time where we got to go camping and you shared Redbreast 12 Cask Strength with me? I'm like, yeah, dude. And I was like, that was a moment. We had a moment, around the campfire with some good Cask Strength Irish whiskey. So yes, Redbreast 12 Cask Strength for me.
Nice. That is a fantastic answer. And never in a million years would I thought an answer to that was going to be an Irish whiskey. But if it was going to be an Irish whiskey,
might as well be that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking heavier, flavorful, high proof bourbon.
Okay.
And so I'm going Booker's. Any batch.
Booker's.
Don't care.
Ooh,
Similar
peanutty.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the peanut vote and go for Booker's.
Nice. I like that. I feel like peanuts will go well with a campfire.
Yeah.
It's like popcorn. Of peanuts.
Everybody loves campfire roasted peanuts, if that were a thing.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. It's great. No, I love that. So no Two Pick Tuesday this week. We're going to be drinking a sample from Buffalo Trace. No, who knows? It could be William LaRue Weller. It could be George T. Stagg, Sazerac 18, Eagle Rare 17. It could be
I totally
Thomas
didn't
H.
say any one of those names earlier.
Did you say it? We probably did. Yeah.
In one ear and out the other. No. If you caught it, you caught it.
Out the freaking other.
Hey, don't rewind. Get your finger off that. Don't rewind.
Take your finger off the dial.
If you heard it, you heard it. If you didn't, you didn't. Just wait.
Yeah. But you probably know. So we're going to be drinking that next week. And then the week after, we're going to be drinking Batch 8, Found North. And then, so we have a few episodes lined up, but we want to bring it back to Two Pick Tuesdays soon. So after those few episodes, we'll probably bring it back soon. So keep an eye out on Instagram so you can vote for what we're drinking next. Not this week, not next week, but a soon week. And I hope our listeners will hang in there with us while we still make our decisions for ourselves.
Ooh, yeah. And I hope I still have some firewood left over from my fire pit.
Yeah, and I hope my wife grows a fonder opinion of these longer episodes.
I know. I tried to. I hope I can trim it down. I said that last week, didn't I? I said I hope I can trim it down.
She doesn't listen anyway, so. And I hope maybe someday she will. And I hope your wife continues to listen. But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. So check this out. Check this freaking out.